I don't know. We've started. This is it. I didn't prepare. I was watching Deadpool and got distracted. I'm sorry.
How far into Deadpool did you watch? Because that's going to determine what exactly we can discuss.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
Yeah. Oh, well, as you know, I do not care about spoilers. It doesn't ruin anything. And that's the reason why.
We'll give you some spoilers.
That's the reason why I started watching it, is because I just keep seeing so many spoilers out there.
Same.
But
Me too.
I still got some nice surprises, but
Blade just in.
And I'm glad I did, actually, because I had not entirely written this off, but I liked Deadpool when it came out, the first one, very much. Deadpool 2 was completely flat for me and made me lose interest completely in watching anymore. I think they left this the exact right amount of time, and I think they made a really good.
It's funny
movie.
because they make jokes about how it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they make jokes about
so
fucking everything.
Yeah, I just love when when they find it was it not Deadpool? The lawyer guy, Ben Affleck's character,
Daredevil.
When Daredevil's dead, and he goes, "I'm sorry," and she goes, "It's fine."
Oh.
That's my favorite joke in the whole movie.
Yeah, they're different versions of this.
I'm sorry to hear that. Nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just the fact that that was her ex, and it's fine.
Yes, lots of meta humor. I like the whole thing about how the multiverse is dead and buried. It was a complete failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I sort of like it. Like the multiverse has just turned into all these movie franchises that just sort of disappeared.
I'm surprised they let him make some of the jokes they did at the expense of Disney and the
mate. They can be offended all the way to the bank.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, this movie's doing gangbusters.
It's killing it.
Like,
and can I just say, this might be called Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine, but this is a Wolverine movie. Like, he is the hero of this movie.
Yeah. And I like to make the joke at the start. So, I mean, we're going to talk spoilers, obviously.
Yeah.
I guess. So,
it's been out for 2 weeks. Deal with it.
I'll try and put chapter markers in so you can skip this if you haven't seen it yet. But, it opens with Deadpool trying to find Logan. So he digs up the corpse from the end of the movie Logan, and then
he literally defiles the grave.
Yeah, and it digs up and he's like, "You're very dead."
Yeah,
and then beats up all the TVA guys with the dead body, and it's fucking a great shot. Jen and I were both pissing ourselves laughing because it does all this like kind of Matrix style slow-mo-y fighting stuff, and there's one shot where he's got like a bone. And he hits one guy in the nuts, and it just cuts into slow-mo, and it's just slow-mo of his hand going down this bone into the guy's throat. It's so funny.
That's in the opening part of the movie, and Disney went,
I can't believe they let him do that.
Because somebody must have said in some meeting, Logan ended really nicely. Like, we wrapped up that character perfectly. He had his full hero arc, and we don't want to...
loved it.
We don't want to metaphorically desecrate that grave, do we? And he was like, sorry, I'm just taking notes. Metaphorically desecrate grave. Yeah. And then, of course, you get another montage of him going through the multiverse, finding all the Wolverines from every comic iteration, including one I think I could have played. I would have loved to have played
guy, I was
short Wolverine.
I was not expecting that when he got
so good.
So it just got me with some of the jokes in this. I was not expecting some of them. So good.
And so
I know Cavill.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that
Cavill. I know.
With the reloading his arms like in.
Did you see that he spoke about that? He shaved his mustache for this one, and it was fine.
Yeah. I'm not making that mistake again. Good. But of course, the internet's gone fucking nuts now because people are like, are they like teasing that he's going to be the new Wolverine? No. And it's like, whoa. Slow down. There's a lot of shit in this movie that's a non sequitur.
They'll just get Hugh Jackman back.
Yeah, that's right. Hugh Jackman will do this as long as they ask him to do it.
Well, they make a joke about that too. Because he says, I thought Logan was dead. And then he's like, no, Disney is not letting him stop.
Yeah, that's right. I just love it too when he was like, he's like, if you guys are going to peg me, you need to just do it slowly. And I want some good eye contact. Not from you, fella. It's like, it's not new to me, but it is new to Disney.
Yeah.
So I'm about halfway through, and my feeling from all the spoilers I see is we get to the end of the movie and there's going to be a lot more Deadpools around.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a feeling I have from what I've
It's
seen.
a good feeling that you've got. Have you seen a Chris?
I have seen a Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
That's what I didn't
with
want to
that.
spoil if you hadn't, because that
They
was
got me
great.
because I saw a spoiler, right, on Threads or Twitter. Oh, it'd be Threads. I'm not on Twitter anymore. On Threads, someone put a screen cap up, and I was annoyed because I was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know Captain America was in this."
He's not.
And then it fucking got me.
Yeah. That was done so well because they let you think that was Captain America for so long.
Even the clues were there because he's like, "Fuck this" or whatever.
And then you see Deadpool go, "What?"
Yeah. Exactly.
But you were like, "Well, I guess this is a Deadpool movie."
Yeah.
That fucking post-credits scene of him too, where they play back the tape, is so good.
So funny. Yeah. Just, I mean, this is not, the greatest movie of all time, but fucking solid hour and a half of entertainment.
Yeah. He obviously just went in there and went, what would make this really entertaining? And what good fan service can I put in here? Not just
what
fucking
a send-off to the
not Star Wars. Oh, look,
movie.
it's Lando, everyone. Like, just like really well chosen small
and I am
roles.
quite happy for sort of both of them that they finally got to do their Deadpool and Wolverine movie the way it should have been, not that Wolverine movie we got many years ago.
Yes.
Any of them. Any of the Wolverine movies.
Speaking of that, so you just said Blade just walked in, right?
Yes.
It's just Blade that's walked in now?
Oh, well, Blade and Gambit.
Okay, I was going to say, did Gambit walk in?
Yes, Gambit is there as well. And his accent is...
Oh, man. But they make fun of that too. Who's your dialogue coach? The thing is, because he would have been a terrible Gambit. He is not even remotely Gambit.
No, but he's great in this because it's ridiculous.
Yes, that's right. And because everyone knew he was gonna maybe be Gambit if they had done a Gambit.
The spitting image of the Gambit. Like,
looks amazing.
Except 4 times as thick as Gambit's meant to be.
There's a fucking bit later on where they're driving to the car and then Gambit, he does this big thing and I'm like, I can't make out what he's saying. And the Deadpool goes, sorry, does anybody speak this?
I've missed all of that, yeah. Yeah.
So good.
But done properly, like proper Gambit. Fucking comics Gambit. Animated series Gambit.
All of them making jokes about it actually look like they're supposed to.
And you know how everyone says, oh, fucking grown men cried when they saw Hugh Jackman in the yellow suit. I was like, okay, whatever. Sure. He's all through the trailer and everything. But when he put the mask on, I was like,
I wasn't expecting it.
I was not expecting it either. I'm like, okay, I'm actually getting a bit emotional now.
I got goosebumps. I was like, I didn't expect that. Yeah, it's good shit.
Because also, I mean, I was a huge X-Men fan. I loved the comics. And I loved the animated series.
Everyone loved that anime series.
And when they made the movie, I liked the movie a lot, but it was so different. It wasn't X-Men, and he wasn't Wolverine, from what I thought. But he has become the Wolverine in my mind now over the course of 20 years of fucking earning it.
Yeah.
Now, this is it. This will be his last time doing Wolverine, isn't it?
Well, here's the thing. I hope you're right, because this does not need a sequel. This was a perfect full stop at the end of a long sentence. But I have a feeling Disney are going to learn the wrong lesson from this, and we're going to have Deadpool versus Wolverine 2 next year.
Yeah, maybe. Or they'll bring back someone else. Man, I got to say...
There's only one Blade.
I saw a spoiler. I knew Blade was in it. But it still landed because I saw it at the movies. And the moment he walked in, everyone in the fucking cinema went, oh, what? Yeah. And it was like...
He's actually broken Hugh's record now.
Oh, longest...
Hugh Jackman, longest Marvel character was...
Yeah.
Oh, of course, because it was kind of the first, wasn't it?
Blade was first.
90s,
now it's him. And then also, Ryan Reynolds was also in that.
I love that movie. The first and second Blades are excellent.
Yeah, third one, not so much.
Not so much. Nobody's fault.
No.
Well,
no, but he
David Goya's fault.
He's iconic. like Wesley Snipes as Blade for me. Like that
and they
first
let him
movie,
age too. Like he looks his age. You know, I thought they were because that's the cameo that I heard about that I went, I'm going to see this movie today or it's going to get ruined.
Yeah.
And but I thought they would, you know, have made him up to look like 90s Blade, but I liked that they had kept him aging in the background. Yeah.
He's seen some time, did his time in jail, and then came back to be Blade.
Beards now
right.
too.
He didn't pay his taxes. Wesley Snipes.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because he
needed the money. Is what you mean?
He didn't pay his taxes. He felt he also didn't have to. So it wasn't a mistake. It was not going to.
Yeah.
He tried to get out of it.
And don't wear a Run DMC t-shirt around him, or he'll think wardrobe department gave that to you.
It was garbage, I think, right? Wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
I think you're talking about the Patton Oswalt story from Blade 3, or is that something you're talking about something else?
The extra on the set of
I thought the Patton Oswalt story was that the extra was wearing a garbage shirt, and Wesley Snipes, in method acting as Blade, pulled the director aside and he's like, "You make the only black guy on set wear a t-shirt that says garbage." And then they were like, "It's a band," and he was like, "Oh, I'm sure it is."
It is. They're quite good. Have you seen the singer?
That's what Patton Oswalt said, I think.
Right. No, that makes sense. I thought he was angry that they put the only black actor in like a black group t-shirt.
That might also have happened.
But then it turned out that the extras were in their own clothes.
Right. Yeah, so, see, that could also have happened too, because Patton Oswalt said that whole shoot was...
Right. That makes sense. I don't think anyone enjoyed themselves on that shoot by the sounds of it.
Because he is, or was, I don't know how he does it these days, but he was a method actor, meaning he would, and apparently he would leave Post-it notes for you, assigned as Blade.
As Blade.
Yeah.
I'm fucking coming for you at night.
The trailer. You get notes in your trailer.
So what scares me when you is a method actor for someone who plays a vampire and drinks blood.
Yeah.
Half vampire.
That's right.
But still needs to drink blood.
Chris Christopherson gives him his injections, and he's sweet.
Whistler.
So was he just walking
that movie? So Stephen Dorff is the fucking vampire for me. Like that just is a vampire from that moment onwards. In it. Yes, he is too.
So good. Yeah. It's got that pearl, that big fat vampire.
Yes. Not to mention the fucking blood in the fucking sprinklers scene. So there's nothing not epic about that scene. The music, the cinematography, just the iconography of the blood.
Because that opening too is just so good. Like, because you're right. It's the vampires have this nightclub. They invite all the humans in, and then they're all dancing, and then blood starts coming from the sprinklers, and then the vampires all start attacking, and then all of a sudden, like a vampire comes flying across the room, and then they all in slow-mo part. And then fucking Blade's just there with the sword, with all the blood dripping from the ceiling. It's so sick.
But do we think about the janitors the next day?
Yeah.
Just hose it down.
I assume it's kind of like the Viper Room, except instead of cocaine, it's blood. You know what I mean? Like that. Basically, there is no messy blood left over because people have literally been on their hands and knees just getting the last of it up.
Yeah. We went to the Viper Room. Saw Butcher Babies. I know you remember that.
I do remember that. I remember that very well.
To see that.
No. Wow. Because I was like, I'm going to have to strain my neck trying to look down these girls' tops. And then they were like, here are our tits. And it's like, oh, okay. You've saved me a lot of neck muscle.
Fuck you.
I was about to say, you need to explain. You can't just assume your listeners know what you're talking about.
Butcher Babies are a death metal band fronted by two, I guess, former dancers, I think. I don't want to diss them, but I think they're former exotic dancers. I think
they certainly look like it and act like it.
But they got up on stage and everyone was thinking, ooh, they're all right. And then they took their tops off and did a death metal show. And there was a bunch of guys in the audience going with their phones. Brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
But that's what everyone does at concerts now with their phones. I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed too.
Warranted.
People take their phones on video through all the rides at Disneyland now.
Oh,
And I'm shocked that that's allowed.
I
that
was
they
on a
haven't.
ride. I was on Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Last time I was there, I was on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and I actually said to the person in front of me, turn your phone off, because his phone's on, had his screen full up bright. And we're in the darkness, and I'm...
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
My
ruining this
daughter
for me.
watches them. She loves them. And they're really interesting because it's rides I haven't seen. Some rides I have seen. But they're just... Because there's people that go to Disneyland every day and film content, and they're YouTubers who are Disneyland YouTubers.
They're shutting them down.
Are
Yeah,
they?
Yeah.
Right.
They're starting to stop that because they're... some of them, I think it's the whole thing where they've become entitled.
Right.
Right.
Like, I'm
It's like,
filming
mate,
this,
you don't
but-
work here.
Yeah, stay out of my way. I'm filming this and type of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Luke took his phone on a ride at Universal.
I remember that.
Hulk
I remember having to go and
smash.
get it back.
The Hulk ride, yeah. Flew out of his pocket.
Yep.
Little kid told you when we got off.
Yep.
I remember that. Little kid came up and goes, excuse me, your phone's in the water somewhere.
And then we phoned him up and then, oh yeah, we found it. Yeah, it's been destroyed.
And then his mum was like, don't talk to that man in the trench coat.
Yeah.
I didn't have the trench coat at that stage, I don't think.
He was just naked at that point.
Yeah, that had come off.
Weeping.
It had come
Just
off.
weeping.
But the great thing
So
about
you're
that
halfway
film-
through. Luke, you concur? Good movie?
Yeah, I'm
Deadpool
enjoying
and
it.
Wolverine?
Yep. It's just fun. I wouldn't say it's a
Yeah.
movie. I don't know.
No,
Like,
it's
Yeah, it's just a lot
not
of...
going to win an Academy Award, I don't think, but it's just good, solid entertainment. And it's making
It was
a ton of money.
It was up there. Well, not. I can compare it, or I could see how someone could compare it to the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Sure.
In that it gives you a lot of laughs, but it's actually structured very well, and there's a lot of heart in it as well.
Yeah.
And honest to God, if this is just how they make movies now, I'm absolutely fine with that. You know,
Sure.
like
I think
just
I'm just getting up to the part where the heart starts to come in a little bit more.
it's by the end, it's really nice. Like it's everyone. There's no fucking weird ironic shit. It's just yeah.
The only thing my only criticism of it is that just some of the action scenes just got a bit boring, to be honest.
Yeah,
They didn't go
sure.
on long enough.
You're
That
two
it
invulnerable
was
people fighting each other.
That's what I mean. It was just like, but I mean, and they're not long enough that it matters. It's just that I was a little bit like, okay, we're done. Good.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. I
Because
agree with that.
the first one...
No
the-
need
there
for
was the
this
first,
anymore.
There was the first Deadpool Wolverine, and then there was a second fight, and it's not really
Yeah,
doing
we
much.
didn't need two of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some fun facts from the writers. They gave an interview. I think this might have been right after the premiere,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave. Apparently, this was some exclusive information here. But the scene
Exclusive for our podcast.
no, absolutely not exclusive to the article that I'm reading this from.
Sure. Yeah. Because we're also going to sit on this exclusive
Oh yeah,
information for 6 more days before we publish. So
exactly. Yeah. But you heard it here, third, folks.
that should
That-
be our slogan.
The scene at the beginning with Happy was originally written to have Tony Stark as well, and they wanted Robert Downey Jr. to do it, and they actually rehearsed it. Ryan
With
Reynolds, Jon Favreau, and
And a stand-in.
Robert Downey Jr. Because
Oh.
they actually did it.
That's how they were going to do it, right?
They're trying to get him on board, and then they're all thinking he's not going to say no to Ryan. No one says no to Ryan. And also these movies have proven themselves to be fine. But then he said no, and they were like, "Oh, well, fair enough." And they didn't really understand why until
coming back.
until the
of
Doctor
course.
Doom thing, and then it's like, oh yeah, that actually wouldn't make any sense. It'd be very confusing for them to say he's done. And then he came back as Tony Stark, and then he comes back as Doctor Doom. It's kind of a weird.
Although we don't really know where in the what do they call it, the prime timeline or the sacred timeline. We don't know where
no idea.
that occurred because Logan takes place in the future, right? So
Oh yeah, that's true.
right,
Yeah.
so time is muddled in this anyway.
This is why
I think they could have still done it.
This is
But
why
I
keep
did.
going to
It
the
was a
fact
nice
they need
moment
to-
where he's like, "I want to speak to the man." He's like, "I'm the man." He's like, "Nah, you're not the man."
Yeah.
This is why I keep
We at
saying
the Avengers. Sorry, did you say we?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I just didn't realize you were an Avenger. Don't you drive the car?
special powers parallel parking. But no, I think this is why it is confusing with timelines and things that I don't think the timelines work well in the movies. I think it's
No.
too hard to
That's- I think they know that
also,
too. They have to
you
stop
had to have
doing
watched Loki to really even understand a
the
bunch of
TVA and
stuff in this. Yeah,
They did try to explain that. They did. I think they did an okay job of like
Yeah.
a quick, dirty explanation because he does
Yeah.
say, because he has to explain it to Deadpool,
yeah.
yes,
and so he gives him a kind of truncated, like, we might look after the timeline, and you kind of get enough, I guess, probably.
yeah. I'm just aware now that there's half a dozen that I haven't seen as well. Like,
Oh yeah, sure.
you know, there's a bunch, and I saw there was, I don't know, there was a list, and I was like, fucking, some of these I've never even heard of, even heard criticized on YouTube.
I meant to mention this last week because when we were talking about this, but the Secret Invasion show has been out for a year now.
Yeah, right.
I forgot it existed.
I watched
Does
like
that
2
have,
episodes.
Does that have Mendelsohn in it?
Yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, right. Fucking hell. Okay.
Haven't watched it.
I've got to
Did you
back
see
that
it?
up.
Have you
Yeah.
watched it, Luke?
I watched a couple of episodes. It just didn't grab me. It was
Yeah, that's I don't know.
I know,
It wasn't.
all of
It wasn't fun.
Lost.
It was more a
The
The
serious
Hawkeye one
thing.
was good. I liked that.
It was good.
And
actually.
Falcon
I
and
like-
Winter Soldier was good. I liked that very
Oh, yeah.
much.
Yeah,
It was-
these ones probably Secret Invasion was more serious than the Falcon Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Like it was,
Hmm.
that's not a comic book movie.
I just loved that they kind of, what's Daniel Bruhl, the German guy, the Hydra guy, they kind of became friends, kind of like he was their
Yes.
prisoner, but they were kind of riffing on each other. Like that was a good dynamic.
Mm.
That's kind of the conceit in a lot of the shows is that the villains become part of the main cast.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Like
That
Buffy.
was always the Loki conceit anyway.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, true. Yeah.
but yeah, it's because the characters become so good that you don't want to get
yeah.
rid of them because
But did you say Buffy? Yeah, because that's a great example
Yeah,
of
Buffy.
it. Yeah.
I was going to say
Bastards.
the Vampire Diaries, but I don't think anyone else has watched that probably. So, but that happens a lot in that show. Like literally every
Right.
season there's a villain, and then next season they will be friends with.
That's
the
just hanging out with them. Yeah, right.
villain. Because the villains are always like sexy actors who
Mm.
like the fans love, and they're like, well,
I
Have
haven't
the
seen
villains
Vampire
done
Diaries, but
anything-
I imagine it's just Gossip Girl, but with vampires. Is that
So-
what it is?
I would have. I dismissed it obviously because I thought it was stupid. Jenna was watching it, and then she put it on one day for her to watch. I think she was in like season 4 of it, and I was like, I was doing something on the computer, and it's like the people fucking vomiting blood everywhere, and there's vampires and blood and
Okay.
gore and stuff. And I was like, sorry,
Mm.
this is what the Vampire Diaries is? And she's like, yeah. I was like, and she's
Huh.
like, yeah, it's corny and kind of a bit teen, but it's like
Right.
quite, it's
Yeah,
a vampire
okay.
thing. So
Yeah, sure.
it's all
Okay.
right.
Maybe
The early seasons
one
were
day.
better. It got
well, we have just spent time talking about a movie we've liked.
yes.
But it's about maybe we talk about a movie that we're probably not going to like, which is Borderlands.
Not going to watch.
Fucking no one likes it. No one likes this movie.
Apparently, it's like
So weird. It looks so. What are the choices that are made here? And each of these individual cast members, I really like.
Yeah.
Not together, and not in this movie.
I just don't understand. The why that actor in that role. Just why?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like a few of them, I
Kate Blanchett
always
makes
agree with.
sense.
A couple of them, I think I can see.
Although she's a bit older than Lilith would be.
Yeah.
I mean, not that matters, I guess.
Well, she's not
but
too old to make movies. I fucking watch anything she's in.
Yeah,
But
yeah, she's
this
great.
is a weird choice.
Yeah, like she's great.
But she's come out this week and said, mate, it's supposed to be fun. Don't go in expecting Citizen Kane.
Well, didn't she say she did this because she got bored during COVID and this was available?
Oh, right.
That was the thing she said at one point. So
See, Jamie Lee Curtis, I still say is a good pick for Tannis. I see that working.
again, I know that it doesn't matter because she's not necessarily the same character, but she's way older than Tannis is supposed to be.
Yeah, but I
They've aged up the entire group, though,
The
haven't
one
they?
that makes zero
Even
sense.
Tiny
is-
Tina, actually, technically.
Yeah, the one that makes zero sense is Kevin Hart.
Again, yeah, just
That's
not
what?
age-wise, not a problem, but just just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Jack
but,
Black as Claptrap, I guess, makes sense.
I mean,
but,
That was
but even
not
that,
only does that
you-
make sense, but that was kind of a given.
yeah.
for that, why did you even have to have Jack? You could just have the voice be Claptrap.
Mm.
That's done. You
Speaking
don't
of
have to have
Kevin
someone
Hart,
play
The guy
him.
that Randy Pitchford punched in an elevator.
Yeah, You see Randy's come out and gone,
Allegedly.
When he asked for his money, is that
Yeah, I
what
think
the
I
situation was? Yeah.
very
Why haven't I
well
been
be.
paid for this, Randy?
Yeah.
Randy's come out and said, like, give it a chance, essentially.
It seems like people.
Oh,
have.
okay.
It had it had the distinct honor of being, I think, the longest running movie to have a 0 rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It has increased to 9% now, though. I've checked.
Oh, a solid 9%.
It was at 0 for a couple of days, which is
Yeah.
very bad. Obviously,
For a
It's like-
brand new
it can't
movie.
really be worse. Frankly,
This is critics' views, isn't it? Because
It is difficult to do worse.
yeah. The audience has, I think, pushed it up a bit since then.
Not a whole lot, though. They pushed
No.
it to 9.
9%.
Oh no, hold on. There's an audience score now of 49.
Oh, all right.
Okay. That's still below
I mean,
average.
Maybe I could try and watch it. But a lot of the reviews have said this is the worst kind of bad movie because there's not even anything clever about it that kind of makes it worth bothering.
It's just a movie.
Mm.
Yeah. They're just a cash
to
in.
it.
Yeah.
And there was one interesting note that I saw in this article here is that some of the, I think, effects people or stunt people said that this was shot, because they said this when they announced it. This film was shot with an R rating in mind, and they filmed shooting people's fucking heads and cutting off limbs and all this kind of stuff.
Borderlands.
And then after it was all finished and in post-production, for some reason that this person doesn't know, it was decided it would be PG-13. And as a result, I watched a quick review from somebody who said that there are scenes that actually don't make sense because you see one of the main characters surrounded by enemies, and then it will cut and then not anymore. And it's like, what the fuck? Where did those people go? And then the answer probably is they were violently killed. But you can't see that.
And then violently edited out.
And then that was just snipped out of the movie. And so it's just, now it's just this disaster.
Honestly, I'm trying to see what the rating in the games is. Probably just an MA 15.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an R.
Yeah, it's got to
Wouldn't be
be.
an R.
I mean, it might have gotten a bit lenient because it's cartoony.
Yeah, but
Speaking of
if you're
things
going to
with
make a
Kevin
live
Hart that I
action-
didn't give a chance until very recently, when I was chatting with my sister, and she went, "What do you mean you haven't seen Jumanji?"
Yep.
The Jumanji,
Great.
the Jumanji remake's fucking excellent.
Yes, good.
It's so good, and I would, because I'm a big fan of the
Him and
old.
Rock have a great
Jonas Brothers.
play off each other.
Yeah, that's right. He was fine. He was good. I thought he did a great job. But I when I heard they were remaking a Jumanji, I was like, "Fuck no."
Yeah, no interest.
But the way that they, like, it's not a remake. I mean, it is, but it's also a direct sequel.
Well, I even like at the start of that, they sort of like they find a board game, and a board game. Who's going to play that? So it morphs into a video
So it fucking
game. so the
morphs.
kids
I
can
love
play.
that idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah, it's good.
Speaking of games, and I just want to say this really quickly because there's no point me going on about it, but I just want to just tell you what I'm playing this week. I realized that the third Tomb Raider was on Game Pass and that I hadn't played that. I'd only played the first two.
Oh, yeah.
And so I popped it on, and in the first
Pink
scene,
one, right?
she started talking about people that I didn't remember who they were because I'd forgotten how much of direct continuity was in this new batch. So I was like, oh, what happened? And then I realized I still had 1 and 2 loaded on, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go back and play all 3 of these. So I've been playing the first Tomb Raider. I mean, not the first one, but the 2013 Tomb Raider.
One in the forest.
It's great. It's so good.
Such great
Yeah.
games.
They're all 3, I mean, are good.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wish they would make it sort of another one. Like I want that sort of game again. It's been a while since we've had one.
Yeah.
I've been playing Alan Wake. It's great.
I saw you getting some achievements.
I took a long break from it just because I haven't had time. But I played a bit more this week. It's great. It's really good. I
And,
can't have anything bad to say about it, really.
no, and as I
No,
say,
you won't.
the more you play, the better it gets.
I played it twice.
Yeah, yeah. I know. And then I'm like, I love that how we've got some David Lynch news. I love how David Lynchy it is, like with the story and things are a bit
Yeah.
weird. And then you go, oh, hang on a minute. I think you figured something out. And then maybe you did and maybe you didn't. Like,
Yeah.
it's very good with the way it handles all that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So good. So good.
I watched a TV show that I have no idea if either of you have watched this, and I am so surprised that I had never watched this because it is perfect for me. I watched Mr. Robot, the first season I've seen now.
Have
you guys watched this?
I've heard about a lot.
Yeah,
but
me too. I've never seen it.
I thought I knew what it was, and I was completely wrong. Like, what do you think this show is about? I knew it had Rami Malek in it, the guy who played Freddie Mercury.
Is he a hacker?
He is a hacker. Yeah. I thought he was a robot. I thought it was no, seriously. I thought it was a science fiction show set in the future, and he was a robot. And I don't know why I thought that, because it's not that.
I mean, that sounds good too. Don't get me wrong, but I also like.
Well, let me pitch you on this then. Imagine the start of the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a hacker gets involved with this stuff. There's shady people contacting him. He doesn't know what's going on.
This is the start of the Matrix, Matt. You're explaining the start of the Matrix.
Yeah, but then when it gets to the point where you're like, is this guy just a bit delusional? He is, and that's what this show is. That you don't know what the fuck is going on and what's real and what isn't, because there are bits of it that are from his perspective, and he's a really unreliable narrator.
Yeah, all right, this sounds pretty good. I'm gonna have to.
He meets this hacker called Mr. Robot, who's played by Christian Slater. Yeah, shows up and he's like, "Come with me." And then and these
was
guys
this just really poorly marketed? Is this because we seem like the target audience for this?
I thought this season, it's fucking excellent.
It's got quite a few seasons, so it's not like it didn't do well.
I think it won a bunch of Emmys.
It looked a little too free to air for me. Like it looked like it was just week to week procedural of some kind. I
can't explain why. And I just never watched it because, like I said, I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, I am fucking hooked.
I need something really like this, actually. Man, I'm in the 4th season of Inside Number 9. Fuck, these are good. These are getting so good. These are just getting better and better.
I need to watch it.
Did you guys watch Blacklist?
No.
The James Spader one?
Yeah. This is another one where everybody tells me how good it is, but anytime I look at it, I just think this just looks kind of like a
James Spader
time
dressed as the Shadow.
Yeah.
James Spader dressed as Orson Welles.
Looking a bit like Orson Welles too.
Looking very much in his Orson Welles phase. Yeah. Oh, one thing I watched really quickly. I watched Bratz, the documentary Andrew McCarthy made about the Brat Pack.
Okay.
Oh.
And it turns out I actually didn't know anything about the Brat Pack. And I mean, I'd seen most of the movies, but I wasn't aware that there was one specific article, I think it was in New Yorker or something, where somebody called them the Brat Pack as a derogatory term. And so they all went, fuck it, we're not making movies together anymore. And that was it. So the name Brat Pack was the end of that. And they haven't spoken to each other for 30 years. So there's Andrew McCarthy going around trying to say, should we be friends? We've kind of got this weird shared experience, and everyone thinks we're a group, whereas we haven't spoken, and we weren't friends then either.
That's interesting. Is it called?
Bratz.
Yeah, I actually.
Right. But make sure it's Bratz with an S, not a Z. Don't watch the cartoon.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, I thought when you were saying, I thought it was something that you were saying. I just watched Bratz with my daughter or something. I thought that's where you were going.
No, we're not allowed to talk about our families anymore. YouTube gets mad.
Yeah, that's right. YouTube gets very mad. They do, don't they?
They don't want to hear about it.
YouTube.
Look, I want to hear about Maxxxine.
Yes,
you do. So Maxxxine is very good.
How's it compared to the first two? Like,
I liked it. I think it might be the weakest of the three, but if that's the case, it's only marginally. And you guys are going to think I'm a fucking idiot, but I didn't realize Pearl from Pearl is Pearl from X, the old lady. And that Maxxxine from this was Maxxxine from X. I thought this was just a stylistic and thematic trilogy, not like direct characters.
Did you know
aging
Mia Goth
over
plays Pearl?
I thought that too was just like. No, I see. Okay, I don't think I realized she played her in X. I think I
she Her in the
I
makeup
missed.
as well.
Somehow I missed that, and I
Yep.
just thought this was like the Cornetto trilogy, where the same actors just play similar characters in similar movies.
Yeah.
But this has flashbacks and flash forwards, and you
Right,
know
right.
this
Oh,
is a
okay.
sequel. So you couldn't watch this and still be confused like I was. Yeah, good. Just a great trilogy of
Horror.
horror. Yeah.
I'll watch it for sure.
Yep. I'm
And
gonna
this
watch
is set
that.
in the 80s, but it's not obtuse 80s. Like there's some cool 80s stuff, but they've put some of the daggy 80s stuff too. Like 80s
cool.
nostalgia now is forgetting that a lot of the 80s was actually a bit lame.
Yeah.
and just putting in all the cool stuff, whereas this is just like, no, this could have been made in the 80s actually.
All right, well, I need to see that, and I also need to see Alien Romulus because that's out this week.
Oh, is
This
it?
week, is it?
This week,
Holy shit. Yeah.
and
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I reserve the right for it to maybe isn't, but it looks pretty good. The trailers
I've been
I saw it for Deadpool
told it's more like the first Alien movie
Mhm.
Yeah,
than,
right.
than any of the others.
It does seem like it's got the most recent trailer I saw. It does seem like it's got a lot going on in a more actiony way than a horror way, which is fine because Aliens also was like that. I'm just not
Yes.
quite sure.
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
they give
I
us
don't
sort of a mix of Alien and Aliens, I'll be fine with. Just don't go any
Sure.
further
Yeah.
along.
Well, mind you, I think that was Prometheus. I think Prometheus
Yeah.
was that mix.
Also, I
And
like
I still
Aliens
like
too.
Prometheus, but
Yeah. I like it. I gotta watch Covenant again. 'Cause
Yeah,
much better the second time. When you're not
Yeah.
expecting something it isn't, and you can just
Sure.
watch it, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's certainly not the worst. It's at least the third worst.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks very good. Have we discussed James Cameron's pitch to the network on his pitch for Aliens?
I think so, yeah. I think tell it anyway. It's a great
Yep.
story. Maybe you've got a listener who hasn't heard it before.
Well, evidently, and I hope this is true because it's such a good story. But he just went in. They said, "What do you want to do?" And he just got a whiteboard and he wrote the word alien, and they went, "Mm-hmm." And then he just drew an S at the end, and they went, "Oh!" And then he just drew a line through the S to make it a dollar sign, and they went,
And it
Where do we
worked.
sign? Yeah.
"Yeah." Now I always just love the first Alien movie for what it is, but even I have to admit, Aliens is probably a better movie. Like, it's fucking great.
Aliens is excellent.
You also
Yeah.
need to watch the special edition or the director's cut, whatever, with the turrets, because that the movie needs that scene. And I
That
hate it
scene
when you
is
see it without it.
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the stuff, it's weird that they took it out. But I guess back then, you couldn't have 2.5 hour runtime, I think the director's cut is, or special edition, or whatever it is. I didn't think you just couldn't do that. So,
Yeah.
But yeah.
That scene makes the fucking movie. Like, with that scene in, that's the scene of the movie.
Yeah, the tension of the
Mm.
turret's almost running out of bullets, and
Just
And it's
knowing
like,
that
why
it's
did it
coming
stop?
because the fucking
because they're in the
guns
fucking
start. Yeah.
Like it adds to that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even without that, you had all that stuff like fucking the newts there and the fucking alien comes up behind it.
Oh, the
and
water.
all that.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, what a movie.
The
Getting
whole
fucking
sequence of the
tingles.
queen at the end is just like,
Get away from
shit.
her, you bitch.
All right. All right.
Mhm, mhm.
I want to have a bit of a rant. It's not really a rant. Just
Do we have a
thing-
jingle for this? We had a jingle if I ranted.
It's not even going to be a rant. It's a little like the xenomorph thing, where it's like it's just the thing that annoys me, and I have no idea if this annoys anybody else. So I want to find out. Right?
Yeah.
Podcasts. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No of them.
Yeah.
fucking
iPod broadcasts, yeah?
It makes me go when people call them pods. Oh, this week on the pod. Oh, last time I was on your pod. Oh, welcome to the pod. No, the pod is the device that you're casting onto.
Yeah, this is the cast. Welcome to the cast.
Yeah, welcome to the cast. Yeah, not the pod. Welcome to the pod.
Well, I'm going
Sound
to
like an
say,
idiot
go out
to
and
me.
say, pods is a thing that you put in a coffee machine to make coffee.
That's
No,
true
it's
too.
what the fucking body snatchers turn you into, Luke.
Yeah, that's true. It's
I agree
it's
with you,
the
Luke.
thing that
Matt.
Hal won't close the doors to.
Yeah,
Or open the doors to.
open the pod bay doors, Hal. Do
Um,
it your fucking self.
so yeah, it just annoyed me. Someone did it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, not this again!" And then I just
I
realized
hate
I'm very unreasonable.
all things that mean people don't know the origins of the phrase.
Yes,
And it's unfair because I probably use a ton of that and don't even know. But it's
Yeah.
like when people say shotgun, meaning they bag something, it's like, no. Shotgun is just for the front seat of the car. And it's because that is riding shotgun. Because in the old carriages, you had the driver and someone holding a shotgun. You can't just go shotgun that. No. People say shotgun when they want the front seat because that's the name of the seat.
you can shotgun a beer.
That's
You can fire it
right.
down your throat. But yeah,
Here's one that I found out that shouldn't annoy me because, like, ancient Greek shouldn't annoy anyone, but does, right? And this is so petty, right? But the word hippopotamus, right, is Greek
sure.
for water horse, because when Alexander the Great went to Africa and saw a fucking hippopotamus,
He thought
called
horse?
hippopotamus, right? Horse of the water.
Doesn't look anything like a horse to me.
So
No.
like a hippodrome, right, is a
Sure.
racehorse. There's no
Sure,
hippos there. But if you call a hippopotamus a hippo, you're actually just calling it a horse.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, interesting.
No, I'm actually. I think I'm upset with it for a different reason. You're upset because you're calling a hippo and it's a horse. I'm upset because he called it a horse.
Because he's
Nothing like
so
a freaking
unimaginative.
Yeah, he looked at a thing that looks nothing like a horse and he went, "It's a bit like a horse, isn't it?" And everyone
Yeah,
was
and
like,
his
"Oh,
men were like,
sure it is, sir.
Does
Yes,
it?
ma'am. Yes, my lord." Or whatever
Looks
they
like a
call it.
horse, doesn't it?
Anyway, it's not a pod. Arguably, it's a cast, but more accurately, it's a podcast.
I think I'm lucky because I only listen to podcasts
episode.
exclusively by
Welcome to
really
the
uncool old
episode.
men. So none of them call it a pod.
This was on one of
thankfully.
them, and it was a guest.
No!
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, I guessed.
I've
Gross.
not heard people refer to it as a pod, but that's
Oh,
just
I
sounds
believe it.
wrong.
I fucking believe it.
Yeah,
Well,
we will never do that here.
No, because if one of you did it, I would get annoyed. Like if one of you started just talking randomly about xenomorphs, I wouldn't. I can't have it. I just can't have it.
I mean, I'm still kind of annoyed it's called a podcast because we did away with pods a long time ago.
Long time ago.
And
Well,
that
you
was
know-
actually
Leo Laporte tried to coin netcasts, and he literally changed all of the shows on the Twit network were called netcasts for so long, and he was just championing this thing, but no one else did it, and eventually he just changed it back because podcast stuck.
Yeah.
Good old Leo Laporte. He's the reason I wanted to do a podcast.
It's the reason we're still here now.
That's right. I've got a photo of me with him and Paul with him, and we are all fucking plastered because he tweeted one day that he was in Sydney in the rocks because he was about to go on a cruise, and he's like, "If anybody's around, come down for a drink."
And you were like,
And
we're
we're
around.
like, all right, this won't pan out. It did.
Amazing. I love that because that was like, what are the chances he was in fucking Sydney? Because you do hear a couple where they're like, "Oh, we're going to do a show and then we're probably going to be at this bar. So if anyone's in fucking downtown Hurricane, West Virginia," and I'm like, like that's none of this can affect me ever.
No.
They just said, "I'm at this bar in the rocks if anyone wants to come down," which I mean, arguably would have been. I mean, now you wouldn't do that because I mean, this
probably not.
Years and years and years
Well,
ago.
it also depends on how big you are.
That's what I mean. He would very big in podcast terms, which at that time was not that big.
Yeah.
Now
Netcasts, Matt. He was big in netcasts.
Netcasts.
Yeah, I don't think now you would do that.
No.
That brings up an interesting debate that I put this in the spreadsheet a few weeks ago. We never got to it, but there's an app now that you can get where you can look at the security camera feed live of bars to see how many people are there to decide whether or not you want to go to that bar or not. You're like, "Oh, it's too crowded. I won't go to that one." But people are like, "Please don't publish me at a bar."
Yeah,
Like,
that's
if I'm at a bar, I don't want people to know I'm there half the time, right?
There's a bar around the corner from here that has karaoke,
Mhm.
and so on the Coventry Facebook group, they will share the posts and the live feed from the karaoke thing. But then I guess when no one's doing karaoke, they just film the bar. And it's just in a similar way. I was always just like, I'd be fucking pissed if I was sat there in a bar and then realized I was being live streamed on the internet without my knowledge.
Yeah, that's right.
That's weird.
Especially since the opposite is also happening. Like, so, you know, Chinese Laundry in Sydney, the club. Evidently, you can't take a phone in there now because they don't want anyone taking pictures of, like, you know, take pictures of their friend and you're in the background, right? They just...
Yeah, right.
And this is the complete opposite.
With your phone?
They used to do that at events. Like you go to, what's the fucking one on Oxford Street, the upstairs at, what's that bar on Oxford Street?
Oxford Art Factory.
Yeah. Upstairs there. They used to do the events there. And then they would have photographers there taking photos, and they post them all on the website. And Club Blink used to do that too.
Yep.
And you'd be like, oh, there I am. You're pissed.
Yeah, you would go to the Blink website or the Facebook the next day. Yeah, what was her name? Yeah.
That's what she looked like.
How annoyed she is at me. Luckily, I was too drunk to notice.
All right. Should we talk a bit more about games?
Sure.
This cannot be true. Half-Life 3. No way this is happening.
Well,
they're working on something.
It's been a while.
I did see this. They're working on something, and it's not going to be VR like the last Half-Life thing was. No. But there's no way they're making Half-Life 3.
They're working on something, and they've done something with a voice actor or something that's making people suspicious. They've here we go. A voice actor has appeared. A voice actor who appeared in Starfield, Valorant, Fallout 76, and more listed something on their resume called Project White Sands, crediting Valve as the developer. And nobody knows what that is.
So the second people see anything with Valve, it's Half-Life 3.
It's Half-Life, yeah.
Well, Valve making a game is not that common anymore.
You know, right? It's a voiceover artist, right? You know what it probably is? Hi, you've reached Valve. No one from the office is here right now.
Yeah.
Please call again during business hours.
Why is it called Project White Sands? Because that's a cool name.
Yeah.
There's only I found out there's only 300 employees at Valve, and they make billions of dollars.
I applied.
They don't just split that between the 300 employees, though.
Why not?
Many years ago, I applied for a job at Valve because
That's why I'm a communist, Luke. That's how it should be done.
They were hiring for just developers in general, which I am, and I was like, sure, I'll give it a go. And then on the website in particular, actually, and you know what? This is when I was still in Sydney, so I was just like, maybe they'll move me to America. Who knows? Because they're in Seattle or Washington somewhere. And they had this whole thing on the website about how work at Valve, and it's like, just choose what you want to work on. Your desk's on wheels. You can move your desk and join a new team if you get bored. Just all this stuff. And I was just like, fuck yeah. All right, let's do this. And then obviously they said, nah, sorry, mate.
But then also they don't.
Not obviously.
Work
you
on anything.
You don't have to qualify that with obviously.
Obviously,
because you're not working there.
But I mean, obviously at the time, I was not.
You were shooting the moon.
I didn't have any skills that would warrant moving me across the fucking world.
Yeah.
We literally have a friend, and I won't say the name of the company, but that was in Austria, right? And they applied for a job here in Australia, and they said, "I'm in Austria," and they went, "Yeah, no worries, that's great." And they're like, "I'd have to relocate," and they're like, "Yeah, okay, we can cover some basic moving costs, no worries." And and then and they're like, "Okay, I'm moving now," and they're like, "What?" And they're like, "From Austria in Europe?" They went, "Oh, Austria, right."
That is not what I thought you said.
Yeah, we're not going to cover anywhere near the cost of
this. Well, they did. To their credit, in the end, they were like, "Well, we did say we would."
Say we would. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you were very clear about it.
Yeah. Our mistake. So yeah, this might or might not be Half-Life 3.
How excited would you be if you found out that this was Half-Life 3?
It's too late. I wouldn't. I would be neither excited.
No.
Or not excited. I would reserve judgment because it's been too long.
I don't even think Half-Life 2 was that great a game.
Half-Life 2 was a very good game.
was a good game, but it's not the most amazing game in the world. It got a bit boring.
And you know
for
what? I
me.
just remembered that when Half-Life 2 came out, I lived in Annandale with Dave, and that was so
It was
long
a
ago.
long time ago.
That was when we were playing World of Warcraft. That's how long ago that was.
Yeah. What a time.
There were no expansions for World of Warcraft.
No.
and we were
Yeah,
playing
it was
at
just
that time.
yeah.
But yeah, no.
And I got Half-Life 2 for free with the video card that I bought.
And then you had to
Oh,
install
sick.
this weird thing called Steam.
That's
Steam,
right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we were angry about it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to fucking install this whole proprietary
Yeah.
system just to play
The fucking
Half-Life.
game. And then I did.
We all
And here
did.
we are.
Look where we are now.
Now they're getting sued left and right.
Oh yeah, monopoly issues or something.
Yeah. It's the whole thing where people are complaining about the cut that they're taking.
Mm.
The 30% that's standard
Oh,
across
sure.
everything. People are saying it's too
Oh
much.
yeah, we haven't talked about. There's been a lot of news on the old Epic versus Apple front that we haven't talked about. We talked about it a while ago, but there's been quite a lot of stuff going on lately with that. Maybe we should do a follow up at some point. But the gist of it is now Apple's allowing third party stores because Epic and others sued them, and then the EU stepped in and said, no, you have to let them have other stores, and so now you can apply.
Thank
and
you,
you'll be
EU.
able to have your own store. Yes, except that it's good, except it's also vague enough that Apple's just been shit about it.
Yep.
Like, because they can.
Yeah.
They're just making it as difficult and stupid as possible.
Which
Like,
I
at first
also don't blame them.
you can have your own store, but you have to have $1 million in cash available in the bank to deal with refunds for customers, because we want our customers to have a good experience. And it's just like, well, that just eliminates, 99% of the people who would want to open a store. Like,
it is probably a bit high, but I also don't blame. Like, they're the ones that are sort of hosting it and doing everything, and they want to cut. So, yeah. Like,
oh, they do want to cut too. I'm sure they're probably getting one too. I don't know what it is. That's not something I'm aware of.
Well, that's a good thing we need to look at, because the whole idea of them hosting their own store is they don't have to get a cut. That was the whole lawsuit.
That's what Epic wants to do, yeah. But I'm sure Apple's going to get their money. They'll make sure of it.
They will. They'll send someone around to. They'll send someone around. Just, we're here to collect.
To do what, Luke?
We're just here to collect. Just rock up.
Just here to collect. Yeah. There's got one other piece of game news that not a lot to say about this. I just thought, ooh, this looks exciting. The Arcane, who made Prey, the good Prey, that came out fairly recently, and they made Dishonored, got shut down recently, famously, by Microsoft. Wolf Eye Studios is a studio founded by former people from Arcane. They made a little isometric RPG called Weird West that is apparently quite good, but I've never played it.
I have it. I bought it on 2 separate systems, and I haven't played it. I bought it on Steam, and I bought it for Switch.
And still yet to play.
I guess I should check it out.
And I think it's on Game Pass.
Switch. Hang on, we'll do that in a minute.
Oh, you've pimped your Switch.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I forgot it. I forgot to show you. Anyway, these guys, Wolf Eye Studios, have announced a new first-person RPG, so like Skyrim, Fallout, New Vegas style, that mixes elements of Fallout and Dishonored in the wrapper of an alt-history sci-fi Americana.
See,
I mean, sure.
I'm excited,
I'll
but
have that.
I'll have that too.
While I've always liked the idea of the Dishonored games, I've never been able to play them. I played the first sort of third of them, then I get bored with them, and that's been all of the Dishonored games.
No, Dishonored was good. I didn't play the second one. Dishonored was very good though. I have very fond memories of it. Pretty cool game.
But I don't know. Throw Fallout in there. Well, RPG.
I mean, we don't know anything about this other than that, and there's a couple pieces of concept art. But
we probably won't know anything about it for a couple more years.
Yeah, if they're just starting to talk about it now.
Yeah.
They're doing what Luke hates, which is they're announcing a game that they will then not tell us about for another couple of years.
Yeah. 3 months beforehand is a sweet spot.
All right, so
Maybe
I'm going to
6.
I'm gonna hold this switch up, and then I guess for the audio only listeners, you guys will have to describe it.
People that were just watching and weren't paying attention are disappointed that your hands went down. We heard a zip. Oh, that is nice. That is nice.
So I don't know if you can see the way the color changes. Let me spin it around. No,
yeah.
Oh, you kind of can.
Sort of.
It's like a two-tone.
What do they call that? There's a word for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you did that yourself?
I did. Yeah, I did it with a bunch of little tiny screwdrivers and a lot more patience than I would normally have.
Oh, so that's a different housing.
Yeah,
not a skin.
Yeah. So
right.
No. But it literally, you take it apart. You take all the boards and pieces out and very carefully put them somewhere.
And remember where you put them.
Yeah. And then, well, you watch a video that tells you what goes where when you put it back together. But yeah, it was a couple of hours to do it, but it was fun. And
nice. Can you take a clearer picture and send it through to us too? I'd like to see 100%. More of that.
And I'm going to I'm doing one up for Lyra for Christmas.
Nice.
Oh.
Because you can get, so I went on eBay. So now that I know I can do it, and it wasn't that bad, and I know I could do it again, and it was fun, and I didn't hate myself afterwards. So I went on eBay, and you can get a Switch Lite. I got this Switch Lite off eBay. It's busted as fuck. Like all the bits are snapped off, and it's scratched, and it's fucked up. But
what did they do to it?
I don't know.
What did you pay for it?
$50.
Nice.
Perfectly functional. It's just outside is screwed up. So I just ordered a new shell for $20, some new buttons for $10, and a new digitizer for the front for $10. And then I will make it new again.
You got yourself $100 brand new Switch Lite.
And she will stop stealing yours.
And it's going to be transparent blue.
Oh, sick. Nice.
Yeah.
As all good Nintendo things should be.
Transparent and blue.
I've got a Lyra anecdote if you want to hear it quickly.
Yeah.
Do it.
Is it a main show anecdote?
Can be.
It is now.
YouTubers, sorry. But just this morning, Lyra, who is my daughter, who's 3, was carrying around a can of soda, like grape soda, and kept spilling it. Like first she tried to open it herself and sprayed it all over the wall. Jenna was cleaning it up, and I was sitting here doing work, just cleaning it up. And then Lyra's like, no, it's cool, I got it. And then she turns around, Jenna cleans up, and then she like pops the bit of the can she crushed out, and it fucking goes everywhere again. And apparently this happened like 5 times. And then she like tripped and spilled something. And then Jenna goes, Lyra. And then Lyra gets up and goes, Mom, take a deep breath. I just fucking lost it.
That's great.
Yeah. And then can't be mad at her after that.
No.
Brilliant.
Look, take a deep breath.
You're
not the one that's having to clean this up, though.
What's that? No, I didn't have to clean. No, yeah. She'll be telling me to take a deep breath at some point for sure.
Yeah.
So in Deadpool versus Wolverine, not versus Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. I keep saying that wrong. There's a character that's a sibling of a character we know well, and her shtick is that she puts her fingers inside you, whether you wanted to or not. And in the after party, we're going to be talking about another celebrity who likes putting his fingers inside you, whether you want it or not.
I know. I'm so sorry, Luke. I've got some follow up on.
Oh God!
On one of our longest running after party segments. Sorry, listeners.
So go to the website and follow the links to the after party, or go to patreon.com/multiplenerdgasm.
Yep. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. You will get episodes early, and you get the video and the audio in your inbox. And then for $5 a month, you get the after party, which is every week. We keep talking, and I know we've mentioned this recently. They continue to be quite long. So
and that's like $1.25 a show. Like, you can afford
we'll
that.
commit to like 15-20 minutes, but they are pretty much all over half an hour, sometimes over an hour long, depending on.
But we promise nothing except for that 15.
Yeah, we don't promise that, but
we promise 15.
They've been very long lately.
Yeah.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.